Yo, what's good? It's your boy Super Johnny B420, aka Sharp Johnny B420, aka Johnny B, bro. This is me playing Mega Man Volume 2. You know, the 7, 8, 9, and 10. It came out on the PS4. This is my second run through the second remix stage for 8. But the reason why I'm showing this, the reason this is up because it's been a topic of discussion in pretty much video game circles. Should games journalists be good at video games? And my personal opinion is yes. Now understand, I'm not saying that you have to be the damn best. You have to be your Kurt Angle, Rock Stone Cold style of gamer where you're on the point where nobody can beat you, ain't no stopping you, you can win all the tournaments. No, but one, games journalists have, especially recently, have been saying that games like Mega Man, games like Sonic Mania is just like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. And it's like, no, it's not. If you play these games in the 90s, or if you play these games in the late 80s, then you already know what you're doing. Or at least the basic function. You run from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen and take down different enemies, avoid different traps, and make it across the stage. And then if you have a boss, defeat the boss, yay, level over. But for some strange reason, you have these game journalists that keep comparing games like Sonic, like Mario, like Zelda. Well, and not the recent Zeldas, I'm talking about the side scroll, or even that Samus game. I read an article where somebody was saying that new Metroid game for the 3DS is just like Dark Souls, when it's not. It's a side scroll. Just because you're having a tough time with it don't mean that every game is like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. Secondly, we have seen where a lot of game journalists will play like an hour a game and call that a review. And then say, this game sucks, this game too hard, this game lacks functionalities and blah blah blah. But they didn't really get into the meat and potatoes of the game. They didn't really take the time to play as much of the game as they could. And I'm not saying all games journalists does this, because no. There are a lot of them that actually go out there, do their job, you know, make sure they play a good portion of the games, hours and hours and hours, so they know what the heck they're doing, what the heck they're talking about when they review. But we have seen countless times that people don't do that. And then with that type of influence, and still, even though it came out and through, I forgot what studies it was. I want to say the ESRB, because I was watching on a YouTube video about it. But studies have came out to say that YouTubers and, you know, social media outlets have more sway than games journalists. But games journalists still have sway over if you should or shouldn't buy a game or play a game. So with that, still that type of power, if you're not playing the game to the fullest, if you're not getting good at the game, then guess what? Or learning from your mistakes, then guess what? Somebody's going to be out there, go to their favorite publishers, let's say IGN or GameSpot or some shit like that, and take your word for gospel. And if you saying, yo, this game sucks, because of the simple fact, hey, you had a hard time, and instead of trying to learn the mechanics or figure out something, like right here, I died. But more I kept playing, the more I start learning. The more I was like, okay, maybe if I take my time, maybe if I'm jumping, you know what I mean, I start charging or some stuff like that. If you're not taking these times to think about what you're doing, then you're going to have a hard time playing these games. Just point blank. I mean, if this is hard, if Cuphead, because that looked very easy, especially when you can shoot 360 is not like Mega Man, where all you can shoot is side to side, unless you have like a power up that, you know, like bounce off the walls and stuff. Then That shouldn't be that hard. I'm not saying it's not a hard game. I'm not saying it's not a difficult game. But literally getting ran into by enemies and not trying to counteract off of those, like how you seen I was rammed into by a couple enemies, but I used that so I could take the hit, have that like 2 seconds of invincibility, just so I could get past that one part that stopped me. You know, if you can't do that, or if you can't like bounce back from your mistakes or learn from your mistakes, then how are you going to sit there and make a review about it? Because you're going to tell somebody, oh, it's super hard, and you might not be able to get it, and you're like, wait, somebody who actually is good at the game, like, wait, if you just took the time to learn, you could get this. So with that type of power, that type of sway, I really feel as though game journalists should be good at video games, especially if they're going to review it. That's my thoughts.
I don't see many losses in his future.
React things to the movie, special ed, I'm a suburban